Some local words this week, so let's start with namaste and aap kaise hoy. Is that good, Tika? Tika? We've been good. Anji kaise hoy? For me, it's always very important when I go to a country, as I travel the world, to really immerse, myself into the local culture and the people, and from the clothing to the food. House event in India of what I've seen already. I would like to just make the connection here that, remember, our World Series need to partner with an official company in the local country we host. In this case, it's IndiaTodayNE. IndiaTodayNE is in India the only official adventure racing company our World Series C has accredited. They've got a pedigree. They've been hosting events consistently over the last 6 to 10 years. And on that basis, our World Series partner with IndiaTodayNE. World hosted ever in South Africa in 2023. So on an international level, when I had to decide who am I bringing in to support the event and to get us the international exposure and credibility, of course, nobody else than Stefan.
So even they were of the opinion, we must, try to cover as much as possible. So the initial discussion, we had come to a conclusion that, we will, start the race from West Siang in Alo, then it will come to Siang and, Siyumi district. So that's how it's expanding. And like someone has asked about why can't we take it to other districts, that will depend on the situation and the requirement, which is a technical requirement which I'll not be able to comment. They will be the best person, race organizer. So if that fits into the entire, guidelines and the requirement, I think we can take it to other districts also.
So, lastly, sir, transparency will be there for how much sponsorship state government is sponsoring them or funding them. It should be clear to
the government funds is always transparent, and if anyone wants to know about the pattern of funding and the kind of expenditure, it's always open. You can't obviously hide about the government. Even a single penny is accounted for.
Excuse me, I just would like to add on that note. The event is nearly 400 kilometers long. So it is a massive route we are covering. Mechukha is just, it's a small, the paradise we're ending off with, and that was the vision. The vision was to have a very big stretch of land covered so that people can see this journey, and we include other districts, communities, we travel through their land, we have accommodation, we buy food, we're using some of the local guides for activities, we're using venues, so there's a lot of give back in this journey that will happen, and that is part of what we do, and we end off in Mechukha. So it is a big area, and they will still have to do a lot of collaboration with local, because that is what the investment is also all about, that we are giving back to the local communities. So it is we cannot just reveal the full cause, but it is nearly 400 kilometers in racing distance that will need to be covered.
Any programs to exchange, like you are from Australia, so taking Arunachal athletes or sportsmen to your place for their adventure, any type of planning
collaboration,
so that our youth also, they can go to Australia, they get visa, and they will roam around.
What we do, yes, sir. What we do with our World Series, we do invitation to all our race directors around the world. Like I said, we have around 80 events around the world. Of the qualifier races, there's normally around 10 to 12 a year. And then we have a regional level, like we had the Asian Championships. So we do invite all our other championship events, like if we have an event now in Philippines. We just had just represented our World Series there, and she took some Indian teams. So yes, we do try to look and identify potential teams and try to make collaborations so that we, as I said before, we have to try to get Indian teams to an international scene so that they can get that experience.
Yeah, so answer to the question, yes, that do. So that is with the help of our World Series. So that is what we work to exchange, to have knowledge and skill exchange. We have a lot of teams who participated in the last event, and we did exclusive promo event just for the local team. So we had team from Kamle, Anani, Zero, Mechukha, and they performed really well. And even that from Tawang, like we have this MTV club, so they also came and participated. So we are trying everything to educate, train, and build a skill level for the local team. It's that they have to step up, they have to come, and they need some kind of support. But ARWS and Nth Adventure is of course doing that part.
I just want to add one last thing, Stefan, maybe you can mention that there is a plan we're working out as well for any team, local team. Doesn't matter if it's local or international, you spend so much money to travel the world to come to this remote area. So if something happens to a member in the race, for instance, in the first 10 or 20 kilometers of the race, not to disqualify the team. Stefan, maybe you can mention to them a little bit more the strategy on that to give them the maximum exposure on that note.
Yeah, with an event like this, we'll have very different skill sets on each team. So we top international teams, will have Indian teams who have never done sort of a multi-pay race. So the planning is not to let everybody start and then if you can't survive the first day, go home, because then it doesn't help. So India's route, which is about between 350 and 400 kilometers, we have just finalized that, you have to visit certain checkpoints. So there is a system of if you at certain stages either have a physical inability to carry on or do the whole route, or you have a sick member where you have to race a bit, that they can skip certain paths. So the idea is everybody is on a start line will get to the finish line. The winning team will take 3 days, they will cover the whole route. A team as the first timers, they will also get to the finish line. They might do 100 kilometers less and they will miss a few checkpoints, but they'll also get a position, they'll always get there. So we do understand that for us to, let's say we're lucky and we get 10 Indian teams. If none of those Indian teams get to the finish line, it doesn't help, because I will never come back, and the message to the Indian sporting community, it's too hard for us. So we have to work out that route. And remember, we have an environmental challenge. We are going from 300-400 meters above sea level to nearly 2,450, so highest point in the route. So that is massive. If you know the route, obviously you know the route towards the destination. They're going to do that by human power, not in a car. So we have to make sure that the route is hard, spectacular, all those aspects for a top team that comes here. But we also must make sure that we can get a novice team, which will more likely be an Indian team than a novice team from another country, to also get to the finish line, and also experience that joy of finishing the race. Irrelevant if they didn't do parts of the race, they would have done the hype, the spectacular parts, the rope work, the jungle trek, the river kayaking. If they done, top team maybe does 200-300 kilometers on a mountain bike and they only done 100, it doesn't really matter. But our aim is to get all the Indian teams there.